There we go. Good morning. Now we're ready to go. This is the October CNP monthly webinar. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Here's our agenda for today. Of course, we're going to start with the spotlight on local because it's Farm to School Month. And we had our National School Lunch Week, and we're still doing the census. We'll do professional standards, verification, direct certification, smart snacks, CEP mid-year elections. I'll give you some reminders, talk about summer meals, rural non-congregate feeding. Yes, we're talking about summer meals already, and the USDA food program, and then our next webinar. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And let's get started with Patrick Lee Farm to School Month. So this year we're going to do a spotlight on local, and this is spotlighting some melons that were purchased locally from Beck Farms. These photos were submitted by Cricket Furman in the Valley View School District, and there's a happy farmer. And then we have a couple of meal trays. We have Idaho on the left from Twin Falls School District, Idaho scallop potatoes, pears from Kelly's Canyon Orchard. And interesting tidbit, the chicken fried steak breading is made with applesauce. That was submitted by Crystal Tubbs. And then on the right-hand side, this is from Whitney Elementary. The apples are from Sims Fruit Ranch in Caldwell. Potatoes from Wada Farms in Idaho Falls, hamburger buns from France in Nampa, and then Meadow Gold milk from Boise. And I just love how they put a little smiley face on the sandwich. This is a spotlight on Harvest Fest. This comes from Gooding School District. They had daily morning announcements with fun facts and trivia, dress-up days, pumpkin decorating, cornhole competitions, even a walk to school day with a police escort. And then they had a corn eating contest and dressed like a farmer, and then some relay races with the teachers on the right-hand side. If you want to check out more of the Gooding Child Nutrition, you can, on social media, you can look at their Facebook page and also Gooding Child Nutrition Instagram pages. This is from National School Lunch Week. This is a picture of the Deputy Undersecretary, Stacy Dean, and yours truly, Pamela, over at Whitney Elementary, where we're having the school lunch and serving local. And then we have what's in season. We still have quite a few things: apples, beets, carrots, flowers and plants and herbs, grapes, greens, onions, pears, potatoes, pumpkins, yay, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, and winter squash. And this is from the Department of Agriculture's Idaho Preferred. If you would like any of these posters, I have a few sets, so please let me know. I'm happy to send you a set. You can also order them directly from Idaho Preferred. I just happen to have a bunch of extras that I can share. And then for the census, I'm sure you guys have already gotten your links to do the census, but there's a webinar, a recording. It was on October 12th, Mathematica and the others hosted a webinar for all school food authorities and relevant partners to help them complete the 2023 Farm to School Census. And if you type in the URL at the bottom of the links, you'll find the 2023 Farm to School Census for SFA briefing, the recording, and the slides. And this is what it looks like when you get to that page. And please reach out if you need help. There are others who would definitely have a great idea of how to complete it. I know some of you, I saw at the Food Expo last week, have already completed it. And then I heard from others who have had some technical difficulties. So please, reach out. We're happy to help and want to make sure that you can get that done. So next up, we have some I talk about professional standards, and professional standards come from the final rule from back in the day, and it established hiring and training standards that became effective July 1st, 2015. Professional standards are intended to ensure the state and local nutrition program personnel have the knowledge and skills to manage and operate the programs correctly and successfully. And that's a big lift, and you guys do a great job. The cover story of CN Magazine, fall of 2023, is about elevating your department's image. And one step is to publicize your achievements. Brag about your staff culinary training or the classes people have been attending to meet USDA professional standards. Broadcast your news in social media or on your website or through regular emails. This is a guide to professional standards, how many hours are required for what roles that people are in, and this can be helpful. It's found online. The training hours count from conferences, annual trainings, and online trainings, and they can all count towards the professional standard requirements. Again, reach out, if you need help, if you're not sure of something, by all means. And then on our CNP digital learning portal, training and tracking, this is a way that you can easily find the trainings that you need for the current year. Each training will tell you what professional standards it applies to and the amount of time it credits for. There are also online resources and other ways to participate, such as the online discussion Marianne is holding next month. She'll tell you more about that in just a little later in the webinar. So let's see, our next slide, our next area, we have verification. And I think, Lynda, did you want to take this one?
Lynda, you want to, or you want me to?
No, Melissa should. Yes.
Melissa. Okay, great. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Melissa. You should all know that we're in the knee deep into verification right now. Hopefully your process is well underway. I've heard from some of you, probably not nearly enough. Anyway, this is the timeline. This is where we should be at this point, being the 21st. It's a little later than the 21st, but you should be following up. So if you have not heard from your families that you've selected for verification, you need to follow up with them, send them a second letter. And I do get asked the question, where's the template for that? There is no template for that. I just send a notification letter with a note telling them that if they don't respond by, give them a date, like a week out, tell them that they're going to return to paid. And then if they don't follow up, then you follow up that, moving them to paid in the 10-day time frame. That at the end of the month, on the 31st, we'll open the report, and you can, hopefully everything's done so you can submit your report. You've got some time between then and November 15th to get all those finishing touches on, but the report will open on the 31st. It opens on the 31st because that's a date that we need all your student counts. So you can't count them before that. It starts on the 31st. November 10th, by this date, you should terminate any benefits for households that didn't respond or that responded and had to move to reduced or paid. You would change those benefits. And then the report is due on November 15th. I will be sending out notification. So instructions so you know how to do the report. You can follow along there in case you're too shy to reach out to me, but by all means reach out to me. I'm here to help you successfully get your report in, get your process done. Is there a second slide on this?
No, I think that's it.
All right, any questions, put them in the chat and I will try to get them all answered. Thanks, guys. Am I taking DC?
Or I can take DC, Melissa.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of part of verification anyway, so.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so direct cert reminder, state matches have started. Now, if you don't have state matches, I'm not sure if there's still some that don't. I know that on the 16th, not everybody did. You have to work with your IT department to make sure that they're getting their IC data uploaded. That's what gets the state level matches going. This, of course, is just for public and charter schools. This is not private schools. But state level matches has started, so make sure you get those matches. Direct cert is only for schools that are operating in lunch or breakfast. So if you have schools that do not participate in those programs, then you do not run direct cert on them. That's pretty important. This is not pretty important. It's really important that this is a USDA funded program and only for national school lunch or breakfast programs. Virtual schools, right now we don't have any virtual schools in our programs. Trying to advocate for virtual reimbursement for virtual meals, but it hasn't happened. Anyway, no virtual students, nobody attending a virtual school should be uploaded or matched into direct cert. We do need you to run direct cert this time frame between now and the end of the month so that you can get your latest SNAP counts for the verification report. See, there's a plug for verification again. And again, if you have questions, let us know. Thank you, Pamela.
Thanks, Melissa. And Lynda, did you want to talk about Smart Snacks?
Sure. I just wanted to let everybody know that the Smart Snack guidance has been updated at USDA, updated within the last year. Any food or beverage sold to students at schools during the school day should be tracked. And there should be someone other than the food service director, hopefully, that is keeping track of these because they will be asked for this information during a review or a technical assistance meeting. They are a federal requirement for all foods sold outside the school lunch and breakfast program, and they cannot be served unless they are compliant during a meal. So information is on our website for Smart Snacks, and make sure that there are no fundraising for donuts or whatever in the cafeteria during breakfast time. Generally, donuts are not Smart Snack compliant, but I just wanted to bring that up since we're in the thick of fundraising right at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynda. Okay, now we'll have a little talk the CEP mid-year elections for school year 23-24. The USDA's Food and Nutrition Service published a final rule about the Child Nutrition Program's community eligibility provision, increasing options for schools. It amends the CEP regulations by lowering the minimum identified student percentage, the ISP, from 40% to 25%. Lowering the minimum, ISP provides greater flexibility to offer meals to all enrolled students at no cost when it's financially viable. Discuss the possibility with school administration and let the state agency know if you would like to elect CEP by October 31st, and that's next Tuesday. It's a short turnaround. And then we need all documentation to be submitted to the state agency by November 3rd for validation. And there was a broadcast email sent on October 19th that you can that has more details. So reach out if this is something that you're thinking about, and keep in mind that short turnaround. All right, so here we go with our program reminders. Civil rights, make sure the non-discrimination statement is current and readily available on your district website, your letter templates, your menus. Make sure you update your logs and have those ready to go, and that you're up to date on all your that you've updated your trainings and in your logs. I understand that everybody's currently up to date so far with their completion of civil rights training. So thanks so much for that. And then another person, and then for next slide, there we go. The HACCP plan, the Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point. Make sure that this is up to date. It's required in NSLP operations. And the writing, implementing, and revising as needed are all important elements in controlling food safety hazards. It's essential to have food safety standard operating procedures in place and to train food service employees on how to use them. If you need ICN, Institute of Child Nutrition has great resources for updating your HACCP plan. And
Hey,
then,
Pamela,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt you. There's some great questions happening on the chat box, and I'm wondering if we want to take some time just to have verbal discussions about that, about those questions.
okay, thanks, Marianne. Is it for CEP?
Yeah, so I can I can read the question, and I think Linda answered one or two of them
Do you want to
already.
repeat them and the answers?
Yeah, I can.
We have time, yeah.
So if you're already on CEP, do you have to do a mid-year election? No, you don't. This is only for new CEP schools. And how do you figure if the CEP will be financially feasible for your school? There is a CEP calculator on there. However, if you take, if one of your schools is 25%, you would take 25% times the 1.6 factor, which did not change in the law. It just went down. So 25 times 1.6 is 40%. So you would get 40% free reimbursement, 60% paid, and you have to do free breakfast and lunches. So you have to figure out, and you can use your August or September claim to figure out how much you would lose by changing down to that, but you also don't collect the payments from the parents. However, you don't have to keep chasing the parents. So it is a district decision. They have to make that decision using that information. And that's what you need to tell them in order to elect. And I can explain it better on the phone. So I also have a personal spreadsheet where I could show it to you. The mid-year election also is retroactive to August. So we would have to adjust your August, September claims. So it is possible that starting this, you would start out by losing money. I know one district is already asked about that, and they are bringing that to their administration's attention. General funds must pay the loss of that. The next question is, can you expand on CEP if we qualify with it being 25%? Like I said, at 25%, you're getting 40% free, 60% paid. You need to figure out if it is beneficial. Is CEP calculator updated And in download forms, no, it is on USDA's website, and there were a few errors that I found in it, and I've given that to USDA. I don't know if they've updated those errors, but I would go on the USDA website, which in our direct cert page, we have a link to. And what month or year is used for qualifications? I'm assuming that's a CEP question, assuming. So you have your choice of doing your April 1st data, which you should have pulled around April 1st this year, or October 26th. Those are the days that you can use for CEP. And there is professional standards. If myself as the director train my staff, do I get to use those hours for my training hours? If it's a one-time training, yes, you do. Make sure you have a agenda and sign-in sheet for everybody and list yourself as the training. If you do the same training over and over again, you only get to use it once. And what is the criteria or guidelines for making sure our HACCP is up to date? We have SOPs that are over 5 years old, but still apply to how we operate. As long as you have the bodily fluids, and there's one other addition that was put in 2017. There's an employee exclusion and how to handle bodily fluid cleanup. If those are in there, it should be good. Another CEP question. If we switch to CEP, do we lose the provision 2 status? Most definitely you do. If you go to CEP, you're going off provision 2. And if you decide CEP is not good fit for you, then you have to do a new base year. And yes, October 26th is tomorrow for CEP qualification. We need direct cert lists and enrollment of each of the schools that you are wanting to get on the program. We actually at the state have 28 days to validate all of the CEP documentation. We have a very short turnaround time. We have to be done by November 28th. And I think I've covered all of the CEP questions. So go, Pamela.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Lynda. Yeah, you got all the CEP questions and professional standards and HACCP. You got all the questions. Good questions. Thanks, you guys. Program reminders. We talked about civil rights. There's your HACCP. Oh, Buy American. There is a training on our CNP YouTube channel. If you need a little refresher course in basically the exception form, you can find it on my Idaho CNP under download forms. Attach the invoice and AMS printout or other documentation and retain it for 3 years plus current. Summer meals, rural non-congregate feeding. This is for Mary Ann.
Awesome. Thanks, Pamela. And actually, before I go into this slide, could we go back to that the training program titles that we were talking about earlier, Pamela? I wanted to just provide a little bit more context and information for all of our SFAs and program operators on really what has changed a little bit in regards to our CNP training portals.
Is it that one?
Pamela, nope,
Or this
go
one?
all the way back. That one. Yep, perfect. Thank you so much. So just to provide a little bit more context and information for everyone, here at the state agency, we know that there's a lot of varying titles on finding out different training materials on our CNP training portal. And it varies from programs to programs. And we had some really great discussions internally on really how to provide consistency across the board between all varying programs to really make it easy for our program operators, our SFA sponsors to find these trainings online through the CNP training portal. And so what we have come up with moving forward is to really streamline the titles, regardless if it's for SFSP, CACFP, USDA Foods, or the school meals program. So to make it consistent and easy for you all to find, we have decided that we will always title our trainings through CNP training portal by the year, the program, the title of the training, and the format of it, meaning if it's an online training or in person. And so hopefully that will provide a great resource for everyone when you are trying to find the name of the training in the portal, and make it easier, a little bit easier for you all. And of course, if you guys have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to any of us here at the state agency. Thanks, Pamela. So if you don't mind moving forward again to my, oh, perfect. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. So just a big FYI to our current SFSP and SSO sponsors. There was a broadcast email that was sent out inviting you all our current SFSP and SSO sponsors to attend a Zoom discussion meeting regarding the rural non-congregate feeding operations beginning summer 2024. I apologize for bringing summer 2024 operation already, and October is not even over, but there are big things coming down the pipeline that will take an effect beginning next summer. And here at the state agency, we really want to provide plenty of time for discussions, really think ahead on how you would like your operation to look like. How is this going to affect you if you do qualify? If you don't qualify, the rural non-congregate feeding will still affect you. And we want to make sure that we are really just planting those seeds as you plan for next summer's operation. So right now, the state agency is offering 2 meeting options. One is on Friday, November 10th from 8 to 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And the other option is Monday, November 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You only need to register for one. It will be the same information we'll be discussing, the same topics and agenda. So please register for one, and you can find that Zoom meeting training through the CNP training portal, and it's titled 2024 Summer Meals Rural Non-Congregate Feeding Discussions Online. So I hope our current SFSP and SSO sponsors are able to attend. We tried out this session a couple weeks ago during the ISNA food shows, and we had some really great discussions, really great topics that others didn't think about. We digged a little bit deeper into how that's going to look because it is going to be different than COVID-19 non-congregate feeding operations. So if you're able to attend, we would really love to have you be part of those discussions. And correction, we will be Mountain Daylight Time. I apologize, not Mountain Standard Time. So thank you for that correction, TJ. And yes, if you, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or to Dominique, the summer food coordinators here at the state agency. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Marianne. Next, we'll go on to USDA Foods Program. TJ, take it away.
Thank you, Pamela, and good morning, everyone. We did just want to cover a couple of things with the USDA Foods Program. First, I'd like to thank all those that participated in our session during the ISNA Fall Food Show. We had some great discussion and hopefully some good trainings out of that. And then those that serve on the advisory council. Every recipient agency in the state of Idaho should thank their lucky stars that we have such an engaged advisory council, because our program has continued to improve as a result of their input. So with that, I did want to just bring everyone up to speed on a couple of things that we discussed in that advisory council meeting. And first of all, it's really important for everyone to understand that meal counts in WebSCM have been updated. USDA normally will do that in November, but I went through our claiming system and pulled out those numbers so we could see what the real impact of what we discussed last month's webinar about the fact that our meal counts went down so substantially in the state of Idaho from school year 21-22 to school year 22-23, when of course the conversion was from all students eating for free to the normal operations that were required by USDA. So with that, I want to encourage everyone to please make sure to go into WebSCM and run your entitlement bonus summary report. And the first thing I'd like to encourage everyone to do is please don't panic, because when you run that entitlement bonus summary report, there are 88 recipient agencies currently with negative balances, and some of them are substantial. There are reasons for that. We discussed that in last month's webinar. If you are one of those recipient agencies that just simply doesn't understand why this occurs, please feel free to send an email to the USDA Foods team, and I'll give you an overview. I know there are a lot of new food service directors that do not understand the cycle of how entitlement impacts decisions, how ordering foods before updates occur impacts those kinds of decisions. But essentially, this is a result of two things. Meal counts went down 5 million in the state of Idaho from all students eat free to normal operations. That is not something we could project. We projected about half that number. Additionally, USDA reduced the per meal rate that they pay, which again, we could not forecast because that decision was made and implemented in July after we'd already placed orders. We've had to cancel trucks. There's a lot of ramifications of this back to normal process that impacted the USDA foods. If you find that your balance is in the negative, I want you to understand that individual recipient agencies' balances do not carry over. What that means is if you are in the negative next year, you will not start in the negative in entitlement. We zero out and every recipient agency starts at zero again. So you'll get your true meal counts and your true entitlement based on the per meal rate. However, overall state entitlement does carry a negative or positive balance. So how that impacts you is that my responsibility is to ensure that we do not start a new program year in the negative overall. So the trickle down to that is, even though we've canceled some truckloads of product, we may see that we have to make adjustments to our DoD allocations as well. So I want everyone to understand that has participated in the DoD program and allocated funds, that as a state, we will look at that process. It will be implemented fairly so that it is based on a percentage of outstanding available allocations, and we will probably have to do a percentage reduction across the board. I'm hopeful that won't occur. We do still have some truckloads that are being purchased by USDA. Unfortunately, it depends on what truckloads are out there as to the price we're paying. Some truckload, some products have gone down substantially in price, but others have gone up. So we don't have the ability to cancel anything else. Everything is in an on invitation status. So we've done all we can do with direct delivery and further process. So DoD is our last resource for ensuring we do not start program year 25 in the negative. For those of you that may be impacted by that decision, you will be notified, and I will put out an email to everyone that has a DoD allocation and let you know what it looks like moving forward. So I don't want anyone to be surprised. Next slide, please. And then, of course, I do want to remind everyone that there are available resources to sort of minimize the impact of these lower meal counts. First of all, on the advertisement post on the Gold Star Foods ordering system, there are still a significant number of cases of surplus foods that were purchased by the state agency to benefit recipient agencies because we have to fill truckloads. Please look at those products and make a decision about if you are impacted by some of the cancellations. Now's a really good time to consider menu adjustments. Take advantage of those surplus foods because you're going to get them if you claim them. We need to make sure that we do it fairly. I have had some larger districts go in and try to claim all the available product, and I won't allow that to happen because everybody was impacted. So we're making strategic decisions about those items being claimed, but please make sure you look at your menus, what got canceled on you, where can I adjust, and are there foods available through advertisement posts that I can use as a replacement. Secondly, we have those supply chain assistance funds that Sean has spoken. She sent out broadcast emails about them. She has continued to remind folks that have money sitting in the GRA to take those funds. There is a new round available. Do not leave money on the table. That will, it is funds, although there are limitations about how you can spend those supply chain funds. If you have money, it doesn't matter if it's, $1,000 or $15,000. It's more than you have now. So make sure that you take advantage of those supply chain assistance funds. And then, of course, the funds for school year 23-24, the supply chain funds, have a deadline for use in September of next year. So you have a good long time to be able to use those funds. In a recent meeting, we were informed that there were about, I think maybe Sean said $43,000 that schools didn't claim. And I don't understand that when we're all scrimping to make sure these programs are self-sufficient. And then finally, I wanted to let everyone know that the state distributing agency is really looking at ways to benefit you folks. Last year, or I keep saying last year, but I mean last month, we announced that we put out a rebate. So we provided a rebate to all schools who participated in the USDA foods program. The per case fee that you paid was rebated back to your school district. Please make sure that you see that transfer of funds to your child nutrition programs. We refer to it as your Fund 290. Whatever you call it, it is your child nutrition financial funds. Make sure that that rebate went to your program because your program paid those per case fees. Additionally, as of last night, 6 p.m., we reduced the amount of the per case fee that you will be paying for storage, delivery fees to our warehouse. So that reduction in fee you will see on invoices. The system was literally triggered last night at 6 p.m. And so in upcoming invoices on products that have not yet been delivered that you put on order, you will see a reduction of 25 cents per case for every case that's delivered to your school from here through the end of the school year. We're doing all that we can to assist in keeping the funds in your programs so that you can spend those funds on replacement foods if you need them because you did not get USDA foods that you had planned on. So hopefully that covers things. And I do see, thank you, Katie, for letting us know that you appreciate what we do for you. And then Jody, how were the rebates distributed? I just want to let you know that an announcement went out over a month ago that all program contacts, meaning the food service directors and superintendents, were included on. We sent an email to notify the rebates were coming, and then a distribution from our accounting department occurred. So those rebates took place easily 3 weeks ago. So please make sure you contact your business manager and make sure they're aware that you need to have those funds transferred to your account. And with that, I will turn back short any other questions to Pamela.
Thanks, TJ. And I think we're all caught up on questions. So let's look at next month. Our webinar will be November 15th. We're back to the third Wednesday of the month. A couple other things happening, and it's already going to be Thanksgiving break time. So that's great. Here's our USDA non-discrimination statement. And finally, our contact information, phone numbers, whatnot. Please reach out again if you have any questions, any concerns. We're here to support you however we can. You guys do an awesome job feeding Idaho kids, and we really appreciate what you do. So with that, it looks like I'll give you back 19-ish minutes of your day. The recording takes a couple days to get it rendered and updated and everything and posted on our YouTube channel. So if you can, if you came in late or couldn't participate, go and check out our YouTube channel. And with that, I'll say happy Halloween. Have a great day and bundle up. We're getting to winter. Take care.
Bye all. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.